Three single entries, but all really high quality. When we get them out here, I'm happy with the quality, even though they didn't have any competition in the respected classes. Very different in terms of their type and kind. The young man's heifer that comes out of the first class, she's the power cow of the trio, one that's super bold and pride apart. She's stout made. From her shoulder back, I like that one a lot. I guess for me, the issue comes shoulder forward. You study the way that one shoulder and knee lay into her. I guess I wish I could lay her back in that shoulder, lay her back in her knee, elevate her there in her chest floor ever so slightly, but a really nice female nonetheless. Young lady's heifer that comes out of that second class, one that isn't wanting to cooperate maybe as much today, but when she does get her set, she gives a really good silhouette from the side. She's up-headed. She's relaxed there in the angle to her shoulder and knee. She's long and level about her hip. Maybe wants to get just a nickel tighter there in her center spine. I can't tell if that's because she's fighting the halter, if she does that all on her own, but a really nice heifer to come out of that class. Young lady's red heifer that comes out of the third one, one from the side we like a lot. She's super feminine about her front 1/3. I love the way her top side of her neck lays into her, super clean and super feminine. She's good in terms of her lower body balance. She's ultra just sound when she gets out and takes to the lead. When we step in behind the cattle, we wish maybe there was a little bit more of her there today. You study that one's forerib. She's maybe not quite as expressive there. Three really different types and kinds for me. Structure is king. The young lady's red heifer is going to be champion in this division. Young man out of the first class is going to be reserved. Congratulations to both of you.
Your champion spring heifer calf comes out of class number 3. That is entry 4073 from Teagan Butterfield of Atkinson, Nebraska. Your reserve comes from class number 1. That is entry 4071 from Reed Overmiller of Smith Center, Kansas. We'll now move on to class number 5. Class number 5 will be Gelbvieh females winter heifer calves, born February 1st of 2025 to February 28th of 2025. We'll have 2 entries that will make up this next class when it makes its way into the ring. We'll have an entry 4074 from Brandon McIndeffer of Sterling, Colorado, and 4075 from Toby Voss of Brunning, Nebraska.
Nice class here in our second division. Young lady's going to start off this class, and I think she does so on the move. You set this one in motion, and specifically the front third of her skeleton, I prefer to the heifer in second. You see this one get out and travel. I like the angle to her shoulder and knee. You study her at the ground. You'd like to change her. You study that one's foot shape. She wants to curl over in her toes ever so slightly. And when you study that one as she goes away, you study that rear foot. She's getting a little rigid there out of her pastern, but a stout-made, bold body type of female. We love the flexibility of that one spine. Nice place to start this class. Young man's going to go second. Does so when we set him in motion. When he gets her parked, he does a great job, and she balances extremely well. Set her into motion, and she wants to get a little more upright off either end of her build. She wants to duck her pins underneath of her, get a little more rigid about her hock, but a bold-made, big body type of female. She's real stout, opened up in terms of her skeletal width and dimension. Really nice heifer to go second in a tough class.
Results for class number 5 of your Gelbvieh females. Second place, 4075 from Toby Voss of Running, Nebraska. First place was entry 4074 from Brandon McIndeffer of Sterling, Colorado. Moving about in the ring now will be class number 6. Class 6 will be Gelbvieh females, winter heifer calves born January 1st through January 31st of 2025. We'll have 2 entries that will make up this class. 4076 comes from Ridniger Cattle, Wakefield, Gelbvieh, Deer Trail, Colorado. And 4074 comes from Tegan Butterfield of Atkinson, Nebraska.
High quality pair of red ones here in this class. We feel really comfortable using this young lady's heifer to win this class. She's super big footed. Love the way this one gets out and travels when she gets her parked, and And stop there. You'll love just the look she gives from the side. Love her balance. Love her flexibility of spine. Love how feminine she is through her front 1/3. And then when you step in behind the cattle, she certainly doesn't disappoint. On paper, maybe she's not as impressive as some of them out here, but phenotypically, this is a cow show, and that one is a show cow. She's super, super cool looking. Love the way that one's built. Excited to see this one out here later on in this division. Young lady that goes second in this class just kind of ran into a buzzsaw, but that doesn't take anything away from the quality of this female. She's stout-made, she's bold, she gets out and travels with plenty of comfort and ease. I guess for me, there's just not as much to her today. She's given up a little bit of performance in terms of overall growth and power, but a nice heifer nonetheless should make a really good cow project from the young lady. Congratulations to both exhibitors.
Results for class number 6. Second place, 4076 from Ridinger Cattle and Wakefield Gelbvieh of Deer Trail, Colorado. And your class winner was 4077 from Tegan Butterfield of Atkinson, Nebraska. At this time, we'll now bring back our class winners. Our judge will select your champion and reserve champion winter heifer calves.
As we get these four out here in division, a young lady's black heifer that started that class did so on her front 2/3, especially when she sets into motion. One that I like the angle to her shoulder. I like how much power she's got when you step in behind her. She's bold sprung, got enough body depth for me today. Nice heifer to start that class. The young lady that comes out of the second class, well, it's one that really just grabs your attention, grabs your eye. As soon as that one walked in the ring, I was pretty sure what was going to happen in this division. She's going to be your champion in this division. I'm going to give a little harder look there at second. I think it gets a little closer there, and I'll get you your reserve. Congratulations.
Your champion winter heifer calf comes from class number 6, that is 4077 from Tegan Butterfield of Atkinson, Nebraska.
As this red heifer pulls into take the heifer that wins this division's place, I'm certainly not disappointed in terms of her quality. When she gives you that look there, she's up-headed, she's feminine. We're going to keep that pair together. You'll be reserved. Congratulations.
Your reserve winter heifer calf for the division is entry 4076 from Ridinger Cattle and Wakefield Gelbvieh of Deer Trail, Colorado. We'll now move on to class number 8 in the program. Class 8 will be Gelbvieh females, junior heifers this time, born January 1st through April 30th of 2024. Within class number 8, we will have entry 4079 from Milkman Beef Company of LaSalle, Colorado. This is the only entry within the class and the only class in its division. So first place from Class 8 will become your champion junior heifer.
Single entry in this division, and so she wins by default, but do not let that fool you. This one's good. I love this one in terms of her mobility. When she gets out and goes, super flexible. Love the substance of foot and bone she's got underneath of her. You study her foot shape, and it's super square. She's got a lot of toe spread, and she gets out and goes with plenty of comfort and ease, and then the young lady gets her stop like that, and she'll stop you dead in your tracks. That's a good look right there. Super feminine about the way she ties her head and neck into her shoulder, how she blends back into her forerib and lower sweep. Stepping behind her, she's stout, she's opened up. That's a really nice one. She could have withstood a lot more competition. Congratulations. Excited to get this one back out here in our final drive.
Class number 8 winner and your champion junior heifer, 4079 from Milkman Beef Company of LaSalle, Colorado. We'll now move on to class number 10 within the program. That'll be Gelbvieh females in the senior heifer division, born September 1st through December 31st of 2023. We have a lone entry in class 10. This is entry 4080 from Bo Goschel of Stewart, Nebraska. This is the only class in the division, so therefore first place within class number 10 will become your champion senior heifer.
Another single entry out here in this division, but another really high quality one. You study the rear 2/3 of that one, and I like her a lot. She's bold, sprung, stout made. Love how much the substance of foot and bone, the circumference of iron she's got underneath of her. I love that. You study that one's front 1/3. That's probably where I could change her, mainly just in terms of her condition. She's getting a little crestier there at the top side of her neck, pushing a little more chest there, but a really sound built female. It's got a lot of practicality, gets around the ring with comfort and ease. Nice project for the young man. Congratulations.
Results for class number 10 of your Gelbvieh females senior heifers. First place and your division champion is going to be entry 4080 from Bo Goschel of Stewart, Nebraska. At this time now, we will bring back all of our division winners, and our judge, Mr. Reed Nichols, will select your grand and reserve grand champion Gelbvieh females. So as promised, in the ring now is your division winners for our judge to select your Grand and Reserve champion Gelbvieh females. From your first division of your spring heifer calves, that is entry 4073 from Tegan Butterfield. The reserve comes from 4071 from Reed Overmiller. From your second division of winter heifer calves, your champion 4077 from Tegan Butterfield. The reserve comes from 4076 from Ridinger Cattle and Wakefield Gelbvieh. From your third division, your champion junior heifer, that is entry 4079 from Milkman Beef Company. And coming out of your last and fourth final division of senior heifers, your champion 4080 from Bo Goschel. Those are your division winners. For our judge, Mr. Reed Nichols, to now select your Grand and Reserve champion females.
First and foremost, I want to, a little loud there. First and foremost, want to thank the Gelbvieh Association and National Western Stock Show for having me out here today. It truly is a huge honor to be able to be in the Mile High City evaluating your show cattle today. I guess we get these cattle out here and maybe not really big on numbers, but the quality is super, super high. And I've been super impressed with the structure of these cattle, the body shape of these cattle, and the doability. I guess for me, structure is king, and when we see these things walking around the ring, it certainly should do you guys a heart of good to know that these cattle are going to go out and they're going to perform and they're going to last in whatever type of environment these cattle are going home to. We come out of that first division, really nice heifer calf. She's a little on the greener side compared to the other ones out here today, but she is in the youngest division. But what won that one in that division was her build. She gets out and goes. She was the most fluid in terms of her stride. She was the most flexible, had the most density of foot and bone underneath of her. Maybe not the stoutest in that division, but structurally I thought she needed to win that division. Young lady coming out of the second division, that one hits you really hard right away. Big-bodied, stout-footed type of female. She gets out and goes with plenty of comfort. When the young lady gets her stopped there, that's a really cool silhouette from the side. You step in behind the cattle, and she doesn't disappoint either. How we could change this one, I guess when I study that one's knee, she maybe just gets a tick upright, but that's getting really, really ultra critical on a really high-quality female. we get in those last two divisions, and again, only single entries, but both could have withstood a lot of competition. This heifer that's making the corner here right now, one I like a lot, one that is super bold, super maternal in her look. You know, it doesn't matter what breed or color, this one's good. I'd take a bunch of those to come home with me and make cows out of, because that's just good livestock. She's bold made, she's super flexible when she gets asked to go to the lead, one that's still fresh at this state of her maturity, still fresh, the top side of her neck, still good in terms of her chest floor. Love the lower body balance that one's got. She's starting to develop a nice bag underneath of her and really good footed. You step in behind her, she's stout made, she's bold sprung. Really like that one out of that third division. The young lady or young man that comes out of the fourth division, you know, a stout made power cow. She's big footed, she's stout made, she's bold, she's big back, she's square. One that's got a lot of muscle, a lot of product to her. Where you want to get picky on her is that front 1/3. She's pushing a little more condition at the top side of her neck, getting a little crestier there and pushing a little bit more forward chest. I think a little bit of that white tissue's getting into her shoulder, making her roll out ever so slightly, but a really nice one. Should make some really cool bowls for the young man. For me, I guess it kind of comes together pretty easily for me. The young lady out of the third division is going to be your champion today. Young lady out of your second division is going to be reserved. Congratulations to both exhibitors.
Your grand champion Gelbvieh female comes from your junior heifer division. That is 4079 from Milkman Beef Company. Your reserve comes from our second division, which is your winner heifer calf division. That is 4077 from Tegan Butterfield. Congratulations to our exhibitors. I believe at this time now within our program we'll pause for pictures at the backdrop, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll have our judge, Mr. Reed Nichols, go back there with our exhibitors. Once those pictures have concluded, after about 10-15 minutes, we will get started back with our class number 13, which would be our balancer females spring heifer calves. So give us about 10-15 minutes for pictures at the backdrop. Give it a second, and then you can start talking whenever you see that for sure. But if you were to leave it on, you'll get like
We are now moving into the open balancer female show. Class 13 balancer females, spring heifer calves born May 1 to May 30th, 2025. Now entering the ring, 4083, Kaisha Abler, Guide Rock, Nebraska. Entry number 4084, John Jace Tenney, Mora, Missouri.
Single entry to start our balancer show, but the young man brings me a really nice one that you love from the side. She's up-headed, she's cool-shouldered. I love the sweep to that one center of body. Steady that one in motion. She's got plenty of flex and reach off of both ends. She maybe could come at us today with a little bit more foot and bone underneath of her, but a really nice heifer to start this division. And young man's doing an awesome job getting her stuck. He's got a great project for the future. Congratulations, young man.
First in class, 4083, Kaisha Abler, Guide Rock, Nebraska. Now entering the ring, class 14. Balancer females, spring heifer calves born April 1 to April 30th, 2025. Entry 4085, Bowler Gelbvieh, Orleans, Nebraska. Entry number 4086, Wilkinson's Gelbvieh Ranch, Model, Colorado.
Really high quality female to start this class. One that's super, super complete, super well balanced. I love this one as she gets out and goes. She's super feminine about her front 1/3. I love how her shoulder transitions back into her forerib, into a robust rib cage. I love that look she gives in terms of how she ties her head at the top side of her skeleton. When you step in behind the cattle, she's stout made, she's bold, she's pulled apart in terms of her skeletal width, and then you see that one's lower joints, and I think she comes with the most comfort today. She's really, really good in the angle to her hind leg. Love the way she utilizes her ankle. Really, really easy place to start this class. Really nice heifer. The young lady that's going to go second, one that's really long-sided. She's probably got a little bit more growth and performance today in this duo of cattle, but for me, she's maybe just a little more tubular in her look. She's a little more devoid there when you study her forerib, and then when you watch her go, she's just a little coarser about her joint work, but a type of heifer that's got a lot of growth, a lot of performance, should make a nice cow for the young lady.
Results for Class 14. First place, 4085, Bowler Gelbvieh. Second place, 4086, Wilkinson Gelbvieh Ranch. Now entering the ring, Class 15, Balancer Females, Spring Heifer Calves born between March 1st and March 31st, 2025. Entry 4087, Kinley Ecoff, Aurora, Nebraska. Entry 4088, Redinger Cattle Company, Deer Trail, Colorado. Entry 4089, Gentry Warner, Arapahoe, Nebraska. Entry 4091, Teagan Butterfield, Atkinson, Nebraska. Entry 4092, Grant Wallachski, Overton, Nebraska. Entry 4094, Forbes Ranch, DeSmit, South Dakota. Entry 4095, Toby Voss, Bruning, Nebraska. And entry 4096, Megan Wolowski, Overton, Nebraska.
by far the biggest class we've had today, and it required a little bit more sort, but the one thing I knew for sure as soon as this heifer walked in the ring is she's going to be our class winner today. Just exudes so much quality. The young man gets her parked like that. She's a show heifer, and she's given us a little bit of attitude today. I guess she knows it, but when he gets her parked like that, super, super cool about the way her head ties into her shoulder, the transition from her chest back into her center portion of her body. She's stout made. She's really well presented, and then you ask that thing to go, and she just floats. I guess if we're going to change her, all cattle need change in little aspects. I guess I could just pick her pin set up ever so slightly, lengthen her hip out just a tad, but that's a really, really good one. Excited to see this one out here later today. Young man brings us a hammer. Congratulations to you. I guess just as easily as that one needed to win the class, the young man's heifer needed to go second. I think she resembles our class winner the most in terms of foot and bone work, silhouette from the side. I guess when you study the cattle, when you get behind them, she's still pulled apart and stout. Where I just would like to tweak this one in comparison to the heifer that wins the class is that shoulder construction. You study the way she gets out of her blade. She's a little coarser, a little rounder there, a little more upright in the angle to her knee, and then she just gets a little coarser and sharper about her hock, but a really, really nice one that's up-headed, level-spined, and gets out and goes with plenty of comfort in knees. A really comfortable place to go second in this class. Young lady's heifer that's going to go third, I think if you wanted to argue and put her down a spot, I wouldn't necessarily argue you too much. She's really up-headed, she's deep-bodied, and for me, in that pair in third and fourth, where she had the advantage was the way she goes out of her rear two. She's a little longer about her hip, she's got a little bit more reach and stride and comfortability when you study her at the ground, and that's why she fell into that third spot. If we're going to critique her, she's a little more upright in terms of her shoulder and knee. She wants to twist out in those front two, and she probably just doesn't have near the punch that the two heifers in front of her had to get any higher, but a really nice heifer to go third in this class. The young lady's heifer that's going to go fourth probably got a little bit more breed character today. Love how stout and broody she is. She's bold and pulled apart in terms of her rib cage and design. I guess for me, when we set these cattle into motion is where she falls into fourth. She's a little more upright in her hock, a little frailer there at the ground, and then you study that one's front 1/3. She's a little coarser about the way her neck ties, coarser about her shoulder, just a little more upright there, pushing a little bit more chest, but a really cool cow project that should make some bulls for the young lady. As we follow in, with the young lady's heifer in fifth, really, really cool looking heifer. She's really ultra feminine about the way she ties her neck and head at the top side of her shoulder. She's flat there in terms of her shoulder. For me though today, she just doesn't have enough to her. She's a little flatter and concave in terms of the way her forerib transitions out of the backside of her blade. She's a little more tubular in her rib shape and design, and then you study her feature. I wish that one came with a little more foot and bone today. As we follow her with the red heifer, one that is probably got the advantage there in just terms of power. She's a little bolder sprung there when you study her forerib, got a little more depth of body. I guess when we set this one in motion, she's just a little too rigid off both ends of her build. She's a little plainer about her front third, but a really nice heifer to be this deep in this class. Young lady that's going to round out one that's long-sided. She's up-headed. She's cool-chested. Again, when we set this one in motion is where she probably falls in the pack. She's a little coarser about her joint work. You step in behind the cattle, and she's got the least there in terms of power and skeletal width. For me to get any higher in this class today, but a really, really competitive class. Congratulations to all exhibitors.
Results from Class 15. First place, 4095, Toby Voss, Burning, Nebraska. Second place, 4092, Grant Walowski, Overton, Nebraska. Third place, 4096, Megan Walowski, Overton, Nebraska. Fourth place, 4088, Redding Cattle Company, Deer Trail, Colorado. Fifth place, 4091, Tegan Butterfield, Atkinson, Nebraska. Sixth place, 4089, Gentry Warner, Arapahoe, Nebraska. Seventh place, 4094, Forbes Ranch, DeSmit, South Dakota. Entry 4087 was a scratch. We're now moving to Class 16, Balancer Female Spring Heifer Calf Division Champion. From your first class, 4083, Kaisha Albert, Guide Rock, Nebraska. In Class 14, 4085, Bowler Gelbvieh, Orleans, Nebraska. And from Class 15, your first place was 4095, Toby Voss. Second place from Class 14, 4086, Wilkinson Gelbvieh Ranch. And your second place from Class 15, 4092, Grant Wolowski, Overton, Nebraska.
By far our deepest division of the day, and really impressed with the quality of these three class winners as they get out here. Nothing to take away from the reserves out of those second and third classes, but the young lady that comes out of that first class, one that's really feminine about her head and neck. I love the depth of body she's got, the balance she's got from the side. We step in behind her. She probably doesn't have quite as much power as the two in front of her, and I guess when we ask her to go, where I probably get the most critical on her is the way she uses her hind leg. She doesn't maybe quite reach and flex out of it as well as I'd like to see her go. She wants to pull her hock in a little bit. You know, that might just be skinny calf things, but that is the way I see them today. The young man that's going to come out of that second division or that second class, really stout made, bold type of female. Maybe doesn't have the growth and performance of the heifers on either side of her, but does so in a really balanced package. She's really feminine about her head and neck. I love the sweep she's got to the lower portion of her body, and she's really attractive in the way she uses her hind leg. Stepping behind them, she's stout, she's bold, she's sprung apart. I like that one quite a bit. She maybe wants to get a little more upright there in her knee when you study her front 1/3, but a really high quality one to come out of that second class. Young man that comes out of the third class, one that hit me really, really hard. That's a show heifer, one that's up-headed. She's smooth-shouldered, really feminine in the way that she uses her rib cage and the way she gets out and goes. I picked on her in class. If I could change her, I'd want to pick her hip or her pin bone up ever so slightly, lengthen her hip out. But that's one that gives a really good look from the side. She's stout. She floats when she gets out in motion. He'll be your champion division today. The young man out of your second class will be your reserve. Congratulations, both exhibitors.
Your spring heifer calf division champion goes to 4095, Toby Voss, Bruning, Nebraska. Your reserve spring heifer calf goes to entry 4085, Bowler Gelbvieh, Orleans, Nebraska. We are now moving to Class 17, winter heifer calves born February 1st to February 28, 2025. Entry 4098, Bo Gottschall, Stewart, Nebraska. Entry 4099, Brigham Robinson, Arapahoe, Nebraska. 4002, Easton Bowes, Orleans, Nebraska. And entry 4103, Callan Warner, Arapahoe, Nebraska.
Really good place to start in this class. Young man in the cowboy hat brings us a really nice one. One that's super up-headed, flat-shouldered. Love the silhouette. She parks from the side. I love this one in motion. She's so relaxed in the angle to her shoulder and knee. Study that one at the ground. She's got a lot of flexibility. She reaches, she drives with that hawk. Really flexible there at the surface in her pastern. It's a really nice one. You stepping behind her. She's stouting up for me. You know, if we're going to fix her, I guess she could maybe come with a little bit more sweep and spread today. I think she wants to push a little bit on the outside of her hoof wall, but that's a really, really nice one. The young man does a really nice job getting her presented. Congratulations. Young man's heifer in second is probably the next best in terms of the way she looks when she's parked. One that balances really good from the side. I love the length and the levelness of her spine. Love the depth of her body, her bone and feature. I love how long and level she is about her hip. She ties her head really high to the top side of her shoulder. For me, she's just too upright in terms of the way she lays her shoulder into her. You study her knee, she's far too vertical to get any higher for me today, but a really nice one to go second in this class. Gets a little closer there for that pair for me, but again, it was in motion that I decided to have this one go in second, specifically out of her rear two. Young man that comes third is probably just a little more rigid about the way that she uses her hip, she uses her hind leg, maybe doesn't come with as much foot and bone today, a little more tubular about the way she puts her body into her, but when he gets her parked, she's really, really cool looking. She's a little better in the angle of her shoulder and knee, but she's just a little tubular compared to the heifer in front of her, and probably wants to get up in her spine and ball up ever so slightly, so I had to put her third, but a really nice heifer to go third in a tough class. Young man that's going to round out the class, long-sided, stout-made type of heifer. For me today, she just doesn't come with all the bells and whistles. I wish she was maybe a little deeper there when you study that one's flank, a little smoother about the way she uses her joint work, wants to just get a little more rigid there, but a nice heifer to go fourth in a really tough class. Congratulations to all four exhibitors.
Results from Class 17. First, 4102, Easton Bowes, Orleans, Nebraska. Second was entry 4099, Brigham Robinson, Arapahoe, Nebraska. Third was entry 4103, Callan Warner, Arapahoe, Nebraska. Entry 4098 was fourth, Bo Gottschall, Stewart, Nebraska. Now moving on to Class 18, balancer females, winter calves born January 1 to February 28, 2025. Now entering the ring, entry 4105, Carter Voss, Bruning, Nebraska. Entry 4106, Megan Wolowski, Overton, Nebraska. Entry 4107, Paige Wolowski, Overton, Nebraska. And entry 4108, Easton Bowes, Orleans, Nebraska.
Another really high quality class in our balancer show, and the young lady brings us a really nice one. I think this one just simply balances up the best, both at the standstill and when set into motion. I don't think there's a perfect structured one out here, but for me in this class, I think that in motion while she's out and going, she's the freest, she's the most comfortable off either end of her build, and when the young lady gets her stop, she gives you a really good look. She's up-headed, she's bold-bodied, she's really maternal in her look, and got plenty enough power and feature today for me. I guess I was most comfortable using this one to win. Congratulations, young lady. The young man in the cowboy hat brings us a really interesting one, especially when you study the front two-thirds of this female. I love how feminine and just attractive she is through that neck and shoulder design. She's really laid back in the shoulder and the angle to her knee. She's tight chested. I love that about her. She's got enough body shape for me today, but it's her rear third that I start to have some issues, especially when we set that one in motion. She's a little more upright in the angle to her hock, and then we watch her go away, and she wants to throw those rear two outside of herself, duck her pins underneath of herself. She's just struggling a little bit more off those rear two for me to get her any higher in this class today, but a really high quality one. I kind of went back and forth on this bottom pair, and I guess for me, if you strip them down, you take the fuzz off of them, and you just genuinely look at the genuine cattle underneath, I think this one's got to go third. To me, she's the most comfortable in the pair as she gets out and goes. She's a little flatter about her shoulder, a little more useful about the way she uses her hind leg, and that results in her being a little more comfortable the way she uses her spine as she gets out and goes. Is she the prettiest thing in this class? No. She's a little plainer about the top side of her neck, a little plainer about her throat and chest, but for me, I felt most comfortable putting her third in rather than that fourth spot. Really cool cow project for the young man. The young lady that comes in fourth, don't take any quality away from this one, because she's really cool about her head and neck. She's deep-bodied, and she's got plenty of power and substance to her. I guess for me, is when we set these ones in motion is where I get the most critical. She was a little coarser and upright in the way she uses her blade and her shoulder. She's a little more rigid about the way she uses her hock and pastern to get any higher in this class today, but a deep-bodied, long spine type of female that's got a lot of good to her. Congratulations to all four exhibitors.
Results from Class 18. First place, entry 4107, Paige Wolowski. Second place, entry 4108, Easton Bowes. Third place, entry 4105, Carter Voss. And in fourth place, entry 4106, Megan Volosky. We're now moving to Class 19, the Winter Heifer Calf Division. Entering the ring, entry 4102, Easton Bowes, Orleans, Nebraska. Out of Class 18, entry 4107, Paige Wolowski, Overton, Nebraska. Your second place in Class 17, entry 4099, Brigham Robinson, Arapahoe, Nebraska. In your second place out of Class 18, 4108, Easton Bowes, Orleans, Nebraska.
Really close pair out here for division. The young man in the cowboy hats, heifer out of that first class. Really cool looking, especially when you study her front 1/3. She ties so high and comfortably out of the top side of her shoulder. Love how laid back she is into the angle of her shoulder and back into her knee. She's neat chested. I think she's got plenty enough rib shape for me today. I love the posture of her hind leg when she's set in motion, and especially when she's standing there. I wanted to pick on her in class, and I still agree. As she gets out and goes, she wants to pressurize on the outside of her hoof wall ever so slightly. I can't tell if it's a little slicker of a surface out here, if that's what she does normally, but that is what I'm seeing here today. But a really attractive heifer. Love the profile she gives you from the side. A really nice heifer to win that class. The young lady in the pink that comes out of the second class, one that, again, when she stopped, is really attractive. She balances so well. I love how stout she is. I love how bold sprung she is. I love that she's a little taller shouldered, a little more performance to this female. She's neat chested. Love the body shape that she brings to us today. I guess for me, when we set her in motion, she's just a little more restricted on either end of her build compared to the heifer out of that first class. But she balances so good. When she gets her stopped and set like that, it's really hard to poke a huge hole in her. But as she's out here longer, it's more and more evident the restriction she has off either end of her build. So for me, the young man in the cowboy hat's going to win this division. Young lady out of your second class will be reserved. Congratulations to both of you.
Your winner heifer calf division champion goes to entry 4102, Easton Bowes, Orleans, Nebraska. And your reserve goes to entry 4107, Paige Wolowski, Overton, Nebraska. We are now moving into Class 20, Senior Heifer Calves, calved between December 1st and December 31st of 2024. Entry 4109, J.C. Forbes, DeSmit, South Dakota.
Nice single entry out here in our December class, one that's really long-sided. She's loose yet strong about her spine. I like how stout she is when we get behind her. She's got plenty of feature, really flat-shouldered type of female that transitions back with some punch and power. For me today, she's maybe just a little coarser about the way that she uses her hind leg, a little coarser about the way she uses her hock, and then when you study her there at the ground, she's a little more shovel-footed, a little longer-toed. I wish she maybe had just a little stronger heel there, but that's probably why she's wanting to get a little tighter there in her pastern. But really nice single entry heifer. Congratulations.
Results from Class 20. First place, entry 4109, J.C. Forbes. Class 21, Senior Heifer Calves born between September 1st and September 30th of 2024. Single entry 4112, Gentry Warner, Arapahoe, Nebraska.
Another nice single entry here in our balancer show. Really attractive female. Love how bold she is. She transitions from a flat shoulder into a bold sprung forerib and rib shape. There, when you study the center portion of her body, stepping behind her, she's stout made. We asked the cattle to go. I think she's flexible enough on either end. Is she perfect? No. She maybe got a little more set built into that hock. I wish she maybe had just a nickel more foot and bone underneath of her. But when she stops and gives you that look, she's an up-headed, attractive, feminine type of female. Gives a really good cowie look. A young lady does a nice job getting her presented. Congratulations to you.
Class 21 results, entry 4112, Gentry Warner, Arapahoe, Nebraska. We're now moving into Class 22, your senior heifer calf division. We have entry 4109, J.C. Forbes, D. Smith, South Dakota. And entry 4112, Gentry Warner, Arapahoe, Nebraska.
Just two heifers in this division, but two really nice ones nonetheless. Young lady that comes out of that first class, a long-sided, strong spine type of female. It's got plenty of power, plenty of substance of foot and bone underneath of her. She's maybe a little coarser in terms of the way she gets out and goes. You study her hock, a little more rigid, the way she uses her pastern. I said in class she gets a little longer toed, a little shuffle-footed there underneath of her, but a really nice heifer to start that class. Young lady that comes out of the second class gives you an ultra-feminine look from the side. She's up-headed, neat-shouldered, really attractive in her lower body balance. Gives you a really good look, silhouette from the side. You step in behind her. I think she's got plenty enough punch today for me. How we change her, I'd like to give her just a nickel more foot and bone. I think that you could maybe just make her hind leg a nickel more attractive the way she uses it. But for me, she's the most comfortable place in this division. You'll be our champion. Young lady in our first class will be reserved. Congratulations to both of you.
Your senior heifer calf division champion goes to entry 4112, Gentry Warner, Arapahoe, Nebraska. And your reserve comes down to class 20 and goes to entry 4109, J.C. Forbes, D. Smart, South Dakota. Now moving to class 23, intermediate heifers born between May 1st and August 31st, 2024. This is a single entry, and this will also be your intermediate heifer division. Entry 4146, Keisha Alberg, Guide Rock, Nebraska.
Well, another single entry in this division in our balancers show. I told the young lady she must have scared away the competition because I think this one could withstand quite a bit more. Really feminine about the way her head ties into her shoulder. She's a flat shoulder type of female that transitions back into a bold sprung rib cage. She's got plenty of hip and power when you step in behind her. Love the length and levelness of this animal's hip. She's got plenty of foot and bone. How we change her when she wants to get out and go. She wants to wash out in the loin ever so slightly. She's getting heavy with calf, and I'm sure that's part of the reason, but a really nice heifer nonetheless. We could maybe loosen her up ever so slightly off of her hind two as she gets out and goes, but a really nice female. Young lady does a nice job getting her presented. Congratulations to you.
Your champion intermediate heifer calf division champion goes to 4146 Keisha Alber, Guide Rock, Nebraska. Now moving into Class 25, junior heifers born between April 1st and April 30th, 2025. Entry 4113, Carly Rail, St. Francis, Kansas. Entry 4114, Milkman Beef Company, LaSalle, Colorado.
Just two heifers in the class, but the young lady brings us a really, really nice one. She's obviously pretty heavy along with calf, but still super good looking. I love her head shape, how fresh she is at the top side of her crest and her neck. I love the way she transitions from her shoulder back into her forerib, into an explosive rib cage. She's so balanced in her lower body. She's long and level about her hip, got a lot of substance of foot and bone. She's maybe getting a little lazy out here. She's heavy in calf. If I was that pregnant and big, I'd probably be a little labored too, but for as big and heavy bred as she is, she's still handling her skeleton extremely well. Love the look from the side. Stout made cattle. Young lady does a really nice job showing a really big heifer. Congratulations to you. Heifer that's going to go second, a really bold, sprung, stout-made type of female. She's really level about the way her spine lays into her. Today, she's just given up a little bit of look in that front 1/3 and a little bit of feature compared to our heifer that starts the class. She wants to drop her hip underneath of her and get underneath herself ever so slightly as she's asked to lead, but a really nice heifer, really cool cow. Congratulations to the young lady.
Results from Class 25. First place, entry 4113, Carly Rail, St. Francis, Kansas. Second place, entry 4114, Milkman Beef Company, LaSalle, Colorado. Now moving into Class 26, a single entry. Junior heifers born between March 1st and March 30th, 2024. Entry 4116, Casey Brown, Dwight, Kansas.
Single entry over here, but wow, you have to appreciate the look of balance this one offers from the side. The young lady gets her propped up like that, and the heifer shows off, puts her ears forward. You can't help but just be impressed with the overall look of quality this one possesses. I guess I love how much foot and bone she's got underneath of her. I love her as she gets out and goes, how flexible she is. Today, she's really fresh, which I can appreciate being this far along with calf and still remaining that fresh. But with that, there's kind of a double-edged sword. She wants to be a little more devoid there in her forerib. She gets a little tighter there in her center of spine and washes out in her loin ever so slightly, but a bold, sprung, stout-made cow. Love her foot and bone underneath of her. Love the added flexibility. Really good-looking one. Congratulations, young lady.
Results from Class 26. First place, entry 4116, Casey Brown, Dwight, Kansas. Now moving to Class 27, junior heifers born between February 1st and February 29th, 2024. Entering in the ring, entry 4117, Callan Warner, Arapahoe, Nebraska. Entry 4118, Brandon Mickendaffer, Sterling, Colorado. Entry 4121, Brandon Mickendaffer, Sterling, Colorado. And entry 4120, Paige Wolowski, Overton, Nebraska.
Really interesting pair here in this class of balancer females. And I think they're actually fairly similar in terms of their build. The young lady's heifer that's going to start off this class, I really appreciate the look of balance she's got from the side, appreciate how much density of foot and bone she's got underneath of her, and I think that's where she separates from herself to the heifer. And second, she's still attractive in the way that she ties. She's flat-shouldered. She's good in terms of her depth of body. Love how much foot and bone she's got underneath of her. She's pushing a little bit more condition today, maybe than I'd like to see ideally. She's pushing a little bit more chest. You study her pin bones and there in her udder, and I think she's maybe just pushing a little bit more white tissue, but a nice heifer. The young lady does a nice job getting her presented. Really high-quality female to start this class. The young man that's going to go second, it's pretty close because there are some things that I appreciate about this female, maybe a little bit more than the one ahead of her, specifically her hind leg posture. I think the way that she sets that one down is really attractive. She maybe reaches it back just a tick more. For me today, she probably just gives up some lower body balance, gives up a little bit of feature when you study her foot and bone, but a attractive headed, flat-shouldered, stout-made type of female that's really cowy. Young man's doing a nice job. Could make you a really cool cow project. Congratulations to the young man. The red heifer that's going to go second, really strong-spined, maternal in her body shape type of female. She gets a little more upright on either end for me, but still has an advantage in when she's set in motion compared to the heifer that's going to go fourth. So that's why she stays third. Little crestier about her neck, but a deep-bodied, stout-made female that should make a nice cow. Young lady that's going to go fourth, a stout-made, bold-made type of female. Love the way she transitions from her shoulder back into her forerib. She's strong and level about her spine, but for me, when we set them in motion, she's far too upright off either end of her build to get any higher for me today. Congratulations to all four exhibitors.
Results from Class 27. First place, entry 4120, Paige Wolowski, Overton, Nebraska. Entry 4117, Callan Warner, Arapahoe, Nebraska. In third place, entry 4118, Brandon Mickendaffer, Sterling, Colorado. And in fourth place, entry 4121, Brandon Mickendaffer, Sterling, Colorado. Now moving into Class 28, your junior heifer division. Out of Class 25, entry 4113, Carly Rail, St. Francis, Kansas. Out of Class 26, entry 4116, Casey Brown, Dwight, Kansas. And out of Class 27, entry 4120, Paige Wolowski, Overton, Nebraska. Your second place in Class 25, entry 4114, Milkman Beef Company, LaSalle, Colorado. In your second place out of Class 27, entry 4117, Callan Warner, Arapahoe, Nebraska.
As we get our three class winners out here for division, really high quality set of three of them. Nothing to take away from the seconds in the classes behind them, but for me, it's kind of a three-horse race. Young lady that comes out of that first class, man, that's a show cow. She's maybe just a little further along in calf than some of them out here today, getting a little lazier. Maybe doesn't want to just get out and float as well as I'm guessing she did as a calf, but her angles read right. I love how strong she is in terms of her spine. I love the body shape she's got. I love the condition she's in. Young lady does a really nice job getting her stuck. Congratulations to you on a really nice project. The heifer coming out of that second class, man, when she gives you that look from the side, it's pretty deadly. She's so up-headed, so clean about the top side of her neck, and love how laid back she is into her shoulder and knee. Allows her neck to tie so high. I guess for me today, she's the biggest footed, most comfortable in the way she gets out and travels. Love the condition she's in, but it's kind of a two-edged sword because she is a little more devoid there when you study that one's forerib. She wants to break behind her shoulder ever so slightly, get a little tighter there in her center spine, and then wash out there when you study that one's loin as she gets out and goes. But I love the silhouette from the side. Just wish that she maybe came a little bolder and more sprung apart there when you study that one's forerib. The young lady that's coming out of that last class, probably does that the best. She's bold sprung, level spine, tall shoulder type of female. For me, she's a little more awkward in the way that she sets her hind leg down, wants to have a little bit more set and keep it under her ever so slightly, maybe wants to twist out ever so slightly too, and you study that one's front 2 feet, maybe coming in a little bit more condition today, but that's taken a lot away from a really nice one because she is high quality. She's really highly presented. The young lady does a nice job. She's stout, she's bold, she's maternal in her look, a really high quality female in that class. For me, I guess kind of comes down to these two out of the front two classes. I think they pair together a little bit better. Young lady out of your first class is going to be your champion. Young lady out of your second class will be reserved. Congratulations to both of you.
Your junior heifer division champion comes down at class 25, entry 4113, Carly Rail, St. Francis, Kansas. And your reserve comes down at class 26, entry 4116, Casey Brown, Dwight, Kansas. Now moving to class 29, your cow-calf pairs, 2-year-olds born between January 1st and August 31st of 2023. This is a single entry, 4122, Connor Bluebaugh, Burton, Kansas.
Just a single cow-calf pair out here today, but don't let it fool you. These two will absolutely be in contention as we look at our final drive today. The young man's cow is one that I would have loved to see as a big bred. She's super cool about her front 1/3. She's big, legged, and super flexible when she gets out and goes. I love her udder. It's square. It's refined in terms of her teat. Yeah, she's maybe a little more raw in terms of her condition today, but she's obviously given a lot of her resources to a really, really nice bull calf on her side. That's one that's got a lot of quality into her. I'm a firm believer that cow will put quality into that calf. If you got a high quality cow, she'll make a high quality calf, and she has done that here. Young man's bull is really, really nice. I'd love to see that one as a big mature. I think he's super sound. He's relaxed in the angle of his shoulder and knee. He's up-headed. He's attractive. He's stepping behind him, and he's stout. He's bold sprung. He's good-bodied. That's a really nice little bull calf on a first calf heifer. She's doing a really nice job. It's a high-quality pair. I'm excited to see these things out here in the final drive. Congratulations to both of you.
Your cow-calf pair division champion goes to entry 4122, Connor Bluebaugh, Burton, Kansas. We are now moving into the Grand Champion Balancer Female Drive. Out of Division 1, entry 4095, Toby Voss, Bruning, Nebraska. Out of Division 2, entry 4102, Easton Boss, Orleans, Nebraska. Out of Division 3, entry 4112, Gentry Warner, Arapahoe, Nebraska. Out of Division 4, entry 4146, Keisha Alber, Guide Rock, Nebraska. Out of Division 5, entry 4113, Carly Rail, St. Francis, Kansas. And out of Division 6, entry 4122, Connor Bluebaugh, Burton, Kansas. Your reserve out of Division 1. Entry 4085, Bowler Gelbvieh, Orleans, Nebraska. Out of Division 2, entry 4107, Paige Wolowski, Overton, Nebraska. Out of Division 3, entry 4109, J.C. Forbes, DeSmit, South Dakota. Out of Division 5, entry 4116, Casey Brown, Dwight, Kansas.
First and foremost, again, I'd like to thank the National Western Colorado Gelbvieh Association for having me come out and evaluate your cattle today. It's been a true honor and a blessing to be able to sort through these females. The people have been great. Give your hands up for the showmen out here, all the exhibitors. They've been awesome all day. I'd also like you to give a big round of applause to all the people running this show because it has been top notch. The people at National Western, look at the facility we're in right now. It's pretty awe-inspiring. My hat's off to you guys for investing in something like this. 120 years of the National Western Stock Show is a lot of history. And to be able to be here today on this turf and evaluate your cattle is a really huge honor. So my hat's off to you guys, the National Western. Thank you to all the ring help today. You've been great. I'm not going to give a big old speech. I guess I'm going to look at the cattle one more time. We'll give you a grand reserve. Again, give these kids a round of applause. They've been great. We'll go find you a grand reserve.
Your grand champion balancer female comes out of Division 5, entry 4113, Carly Rail, St. Francis, Kansas. And your reserve in that division is 4116, Casey Brown, Dwight, Kansas. Your reserve champion balancer female comes out of Division 1, 4095, Toby Voss, Bruning, Nebraska. We'll be taking a short 10-minute break for photos before we get moved on to the Open Balancer Bull Show. We will be beginning the Open Gelbvieh Bulls shortly. We will not be taking a break between the Open Gelbvieh Bulls and between the Open Balancer Bulls and the Open Gelbvieh Bulls. We will be taking a break at the conclusion of the bull show. Now moving into our Open Balancer Bull Show, Class 32, Spring Bull Calf born between March 1st and June 30th of 2025. Entering the ring, entry 4134, September Farms, Franklin, Nebraska. This will also be your Spring Bull Calf division.
Really nice way to start off our bull show today. Gentleman brings us a really nice balancer bull, one that's put together extremely well from the profile. I love how attractive he is. I love how masculine his head shape is. He's stout, he's big-backed, he's bold. He's got a big set of nuts on him. I guess I appreciate the way he gets out and travels the ring. If I could change him, he wants to push out there at his knee ever so slightly, maybe give him just a touch more foot underneath him, but that's a really well-balanced bull. It's got a lot of look of an eye appeal and good number two, so congratulations to you. My hat's off.
Your Spring Bull Calf Division champion goes to entry 4134, September Farms, Franklin, Nebraska. Now entering the ring, Class 34. Winter bull calves born between January 1st to February 28th, 2025. Entry 4140, Easton Bowes, Orleans, Nebraska. Entry 4101, Pro Heart Seed Stock, Pueblo, Colorado. 4141, Bowler Gelbvieh, Orleans, Nebraska. This will also be your winter bull calf division.
really challenging class to sort through here, and I'll tell you why. I think that you could argue and justify to use any three of these bulls to win the class and any three of these bulls to go last in class based off of your priorities. You know, if your operation is looking at the numbers bulls, you know, you could use the bull I used in third to win this class. If you're trying to make show heifers like our operation does, this man's bull's got to win the class for me, and I think he does so based off of structure and look and eye appeal, and he's still decent numbered to boot. I guess he's really attractive and up-headed. He's good-bodied. He's really, really flexible when we set him into motion, and then honestly, as pretty as he is when he's stepping behind the cattle, he's actually a little stouter than I maybe anticipated. So I guess for me, he had to win the class based off structure, but again, if you wanted to switch these three around, I wouldn't argue you too much. The young man that's going to go second, I think, most comparably resembles our bull that wins this class. He's really flexible and useful out of that hind leg. He's up-headed. He's masculine. He's big-bodied. For me, he gets a little bit more upright in terms of his shoulder and knee, a little more sloped out of his hip. And then you look at him on paper, and he's the least impressive of the three bulls today. Again, if you guys are a seed stock operation and looking to make pounds, this is the bull for you. He's a calving ease option that's still got a lot of growth and performance. You study that one's muscle shape. He's bold out of the backside of his shoulder. He's stout. He's big-hipped. But for me, I guess he gets a little too upright off either end of his build. He's a little frailer there at the ground, but a really masculine numbers type of bull that's got a lot of product and a lot of good. Should make you a lot of money in the future. Congratulations to all three exhibitors.
Results from Class 34. First place, 41-41, Bowler Gelbvieh, Orleans, Nebraska. Second place, 41-40, Easton Bowes, Orleans, Nebraska. And third place, 41-01, Pro Heart Seedstock, Pueblo, Colorado. Your winner bull calf champion goes to exhibitor 41-41, Bowler Gelbvieh, Orleans, Nebraska. And your reserve goes to entry 41-40, Easton Bowes, Orleans, Nebraska. Now entering the ring, Junior Bulls, entry 41-47, Kenley Ecoff, Aurora, Nebraska. This will be your Junior Bull Champion division.
Another single entry here in our bull show, but a really, really nice one. That's one that has got a lot of look from the side. You stepping behind him, he certainly doesn't disappoint. He's stout, he's bold, he's big-backed, he's robust in terms of his center stifle. I love how much body shape he's got, and then you ask him to take the lead. He certainly does not disappoint. He's extremely flexible. He's big-footed. He's masculine. He's got a nice scrotal size to him. I can really appreciate this bull. I think he'll look really good out here in the Grand Drive. Congratulations on a really fantastic single entry.
Your Junior Bull Champion goes to entry 41-47, Kenley Ecoff, Aurora, Nebraska. Now entering the ring, Class 38, Senior Bulls, entry 41-48, Cody Brown, Dwight, Kansas. This will be your Senior Bull division.
Young man in a cowboy hat brought us a good one. Love this bull. He's extremely good looking. That's a show bull right there. You study this one on hoof phenotypically. You gotta love him. He's bold made. He's stout. He's rugged. He's masculine, but still good looking and really, really sound. I love how big footed he is. He's square footed. He's got a lot of toe spread. And I guess it doesn't matter the color, the shape, the size, the breed. This is just good livestock right here. You guys should be pretty proud to bring this one home, and I'd certainly put him on my set of cows at home as well. Really high quality bull. Excited to get him out here in the Grand Drive.
Your senior bull champion goes to entry 4148, Cody Brown, Dwight, Kansas. We will now be moving into the Champion Balancer Bull Grand Drive. Out of Division 1, entry 4134, September Farms, Franklin, Nebraska. Out of Division 2, entry 4141, Bowler Gelbvieh's, Orleans, Nebraska. Out of Division 3, entry 4147, Kinley Ecoff, Aurora, Nebraska. And out of Division 4, entry 4148, Cody Brown, Dwight, Kansas. And your reserve out of Division 2 is entry 4140, Easton Bowes, Orleans, Nebraska. Just a reminder, we will not be taking a break in between the Balancer bulls and the Gelbvieh bulls. We will take pictures at the very end.
So we get our balancer bulls out here, really impressed with the overall quality from top to bottom throughout the show. Maybe not the most in numbers, but the quality is extremely high. I think these 4 class winners can all go out to their respective operations and really make an impact in terms of dollars generated. And I guess for me, I'm not going to talk these things. We talked them in class and division. It gets pretty easy for me. The man in the cowboy hats, big mature bull, is going to be your champion. Young ladies, bull in the 3rd division is going to be your reserve. Congratulations.
Your grand champion balancer bull goes to entry 4148, Cody Brown, Dwight, Kansas. And your reserve goes to entry 4147, Kinley Ecoff, Aurora, Nebraska. We will now be moving directly into the Open Gelbvieh Bull Show. Now entering the ring, Class 41, Spring Bull Calves, born between March 1st and June 30th, 2025. Entry 4123, Pro Heart Seed Stock, Pueblo, Colorado. This will also be your Spring Bull Calf division.
Single entry to start our Gelbvieh show, but a really nice one nonetheless. A really balanced type of bull. He's masculine. He's good in terms of his scrotal circumference. We appreciate that about him. He's got some foot and bone underneath of him. Maybe like to clean his sheath up ever so slightly, but stout, made, bold type of bull. Nice calf for the young man. Congratulations.
Your Spring Bull Calf Division champion goes to entry 4123, Pro Heart Seed Stock, Pueblo, Colorado. Now moving to Class 43, Winter Bull Calves born between February 1st, 2025 to February 28th, 2025. Entry 4125, Redinger Cattle Company, Deer Trail, Colorado. Entry 4126, Post Rock Cattle Company, Bernard, Kansas.
solid set of Red Bulls to go first and second in this class. The young man brings us a really nice one. I think the pair honestly are very similar in the terms of how they're built and their balance and their presence. But for me, the young man with the cowboy hat's just got a lot more bull there. He's stouter featured, he's bigger testicled, and he's stepping behind him. He's the bigger back, more pulled apart option that still gets around the ring with plenty of comfort and ease. He gives you a good look from the side. I was the most comfortable using him to win. Nice bull to start this class. Young lady's going second. Nothing to take away from her bull. He is stout built, really bold in terms of his forerib. He's good in terms of his balance. I like how sound he is when he asks the bull to go. He's wanting to run right now, but he is athletic, and I guess for me, I just wish there was a shot more foot and bone underneath of him, but a nice bull to go second in a tough class.
Results from Class 43. First place, entry 4126, Post Rock Cattle Company, Bernard, Kansas. Entry 4125, Rittinger Cattle Company, Deer Trail, Colorado. Now moving into Class 44, winter bull calves born between January 1 and January 31st of 2025. Now entering the ring, entry 4129, Rittinger Cattle Company, Deer Trail, Colorado. Entry 4127, Judge Ranch, Pomona, Kansas. Entry 4130, Pro Heart Seed Stock, Pueblo, Colorado.
Really nice bull to start this class. Young lady brings us one that's really big-footed. He's stout-featured. He's masculine. He's stout. He's bold. I guess I like him on the move plenty enough. He's maybe not just the most flexible in this class, but I think he travels good enough for me today. He's the show bull. He's good looking. He's stout. He's good in terms of his scrotal. I like that bull quite a bit. I guess we could change him. I'd like to pick him up in his chest floor, drop him in his heart ever so slightly, but real nice bull to start this class. Young lady's going to go second, one that is maybe just not wanting to cooperate the most, but as he gets out and goes and is set in motion, he's probably the most pliable in terms of his skeleton. He's extremely flexible. I'd like to clean him up in his sheath floor and maybe just give him a little bit more power today, but a nice flexible bull to go second in a good class. The gentleman who's going to go third in this class, you know, if you're looking for $B, that bull is really stout made. He's bold body. He's big ribbed and big middled. I guess for me today, he's just too rigid on both ends of his skeleton as he gets out and goes. I'd like to see him just be changed there ever so slightly, move up any higher in today's class. Congratulations to all three exhibitors.
Results from Class 44. First place, entry 4127, Judd Ranch, Pomona, Kansas. Second place, entry 4129, Rittinger Cattle Company, Deer Trail, Colorado. And in third place, entry 4130, Pro Heart Seed Stock, Pueblo, Colorado. We are now moving into the Winter Bull Calf Division. On a Class 43, first place, entry 4126, Post Rock Cattle Company, Bernard, Kansas. In your first place on a Class 44, entry 4127, Judd Ranch, Pomona, Kansas. Your second in Class 43 is Rittinger Cattle Company, Deer Trail, Colorado. And your second place from Class 44, entry 4129.
Really nice division out here. A young man that comes out of that first class, the bull that won that class based off of his extras. He's a little more opened up in terms of his power. He's got more foot and bone underneath of him. Out here, I think he's very similar in terms of the bull out of that second class, just in terms of his hind leg posture, his size of foot and bone, his body shape. They both probably could be a little better there in their heart, picked up in their chest floor. For me, he gets a little more upright in his shoulder, wants to get a little rounder out of his hip, and as you ask him to go, he wants to drop his hip underneath of him, but a really nice bull nonetheless. Young lady's black bull that comes out of that second class, really up-headed. Love the lines in him when she gets him parked like that. That's a show bull. Got a lot of look, got a lot of eye appeal. He's going to be your champion today. Young man's red bull is going to be reserved. Congratulations to both of you.
Your winner bull calf division champion goes to entry 4127, Judd Ranch, Pomona, Kansas. And your reserve goes to entry 41 26, Post Rock Cattle Co., Bernard, Kansas. Now moving into Class 46. 2-year-olds born January 1 to August 31st, 2023. Now entering the ring, entry 4132, Rittinger Cattle Company, Deer Trail, Colorado. This will be your 2-year-old division.
Really nice bull, single entry in this class, but quality is very, very high. He's masculine, he's rugged. I love his build, I love his flexibility as he gets out and goes. For a big bull to be able to travel like that's very impressive. Super, super powerful. Bold in terms of his body shape. I love his foot shape. Just a really nice bull. Is he maybe just the most attractive in terms of his head and the way it ties the top side of his shoulder? No, but he's a big bull and he's masculine and he's doing a lot of things right. So congratulations to you on a really nice single entry. Excited to see him out here in the Grand Drive.
Your 2-year-old division champion goes to entry 4132, Rittinger Cattle Company, Deer Trail, Colorado. We will now be moving into your grand champion Gelbvieh Bull Drive. Out of Division 1, entry 4123, Pro Heart Seed Stock, Pueblo, Colorado. Out of Division 2, entry 4127, Judd Ranch, Pomona, Kansas. And down of Division 3, entry 4132, Rittinger Cattle Company, Deer Trail, Colorado. Your reserve out of Division 2, entry 4126, Post Rock Cattle Company, Bernard, Kansas.
As we come into our last grand drive of the day, again, I would be remiss if I did not thank the Colorado Gelbvieh Association for the invite to come out here and evaluate your cattle today. It's been a genuine honor and pleasure to be able to do it. Cattle have been great. Maybe the numbers haven't been as much as maybe last year at Oklahoma City. I know this isn't your national show this year, so that's to be expected, but the quality has been really high. I'm glad that you guys decided to make the trip to the Mile High City. Quality again has been super good. I've been blessed to be able to evaluate them. I'm not going to talk long. Big Bull is going to be your champion. Black Bull out of your reserve or second division to be your reserve. Congratulations.
Your grand champion Gelbvieh Bull goes to entry 4132, Rittinger Cattle Company, Deer Trail, Colorado. And your reserve Gelbvieh Bull goes to entry 4127, Judd Ranch, Pomona, Kansas. That is the conclusion of our Gelbvieh Balancer show. Thank you, Judge Reed Nichols, for being here today. We'll start again tomorrow.